morning and welcome to this morning's reflection. Do our lives make a difference to God? In other words, is God a distant observer, uninvolved in the messiness of our lives and really unconcerned with the intricacies and the conflicts of our relationships, of economics, and of politics? Or does God's love for the world mean that God actually experiences our lives as they unfold, and that God is rejoicing or mourning our particular life decisions? St. Benedict asked similar questions as he sought to respond to the spiritual needs in his time. He believed that God acts in the world, and that conversely what happens in the world matters deeply to our Creator. In all of the Benedictine communities, there we see the affirmation, treat everyone as Christ. This statement illuminates the heart of this particular kind of ethic and hospitality. This hospitality stems from the belief that Christ is present as guest and host in every encounter of life. We reveal our love for God in our love for one another. Christ feels the pain of those who are marginalized and neglected, who experience injustice on city streets, long waits in line for social services, and exclusion of voting rights. God rejoices in children welcomed into the church in all their chaotic creativity, in families receiving shelter, and in foreigners provided safe asylum. In ways beyond our imagining, God feels our pain and celebrates our joy. Everything we do touches God. We can see our spouses, friends, children, grandchildren, co-workers and strangers as God's beloved children, treating them always and even in difficult situations as we would treat Christ. Our actions matter because they impact on our neighbor's spiritual growth. They shape the quality of God's experience of the world. One of the rules of Saint Benedict begins with the counsel to listen. We have to begin in a grounded space, in moment-by-moment awareness or mindfulness of God's presence in the minutiae of daily life. This reminds me of Samuel's call. Samuel, a voice calls in the night. After Samuel mistakes the voice for that of Eli, his mentor, Eli guides Samuel to keep listening. And if the voice comes again to respond, speak, God, for your servant is listening. God sees our successes, but he sees our shortcomings. God knows when we act faithfully and when we act out of self-interest. Knowing that our loving parent watches us, Benedict challenges all of us to perform every task with an awareness that what we do truly matters to God. We should do everything in life for God's glory, and this applies to the way we treat our tools, our cell phones, our laptops, as well as our human interaction. Our state of mind shapes how we welcome a stranger, how we do household chores, how we shop on the internet and write a report. There is no boundary between the sacred and the secular. This forces us to immerse ourselves in daily life. While some may flee human culture and family life, there is a spiritual challenge emerging in hospitality toward guests, preparing meals, managing finances, shopping, and traveling. How you make decisions for the household to spend your money reflects your spiritual values. Your day-to-day interactions with your children or your grandchildren, these occur on holy ground. And these interactions shape their young lives toward wholeness and joy. The way we lead people, the way we supervise people, will add or subtract to their spiritual growth. All life is sacramental. Spiritual transformation occurs in the balance of work and prayer, making work an act of prayer. God is involved in everything. This work of offering or consecrating of every moment to God is the basic work of Christian formation. It is thus practiced and learned and deepened in us every moment. This simple task is lifelong. The mundane reveals God. In fact, we ultimately cannot separate the sacred and the secular. If God is omnipresent and omniactive, then we can meet God in every encounter, and God inhabits the workplace or the child's bedroom as fully as the sanctuary or the Eucharistic feast. It is hard to greet our daily tasks with such an open heart, and we often act as if our actions don't matter to God. We go through the motions of greeting a visitor who unexpectedly stops by, while deep down we might see them as a nuisance for interrupting the flow of the day. We might wait till the last minute to do household chores, considering them irrelevant to our spiritual life. But something amazing happens when we devote our tasks to God. Every person glistens with possibility, and every voice reveals something of God. Even tasks that we do not look forward to, like raking leaves or collecting papers for your tax, or all of these things become opportunities to give thanks for your health and your largesse. Paying bills can inspire us to gratitude for the fact that we have means to maintain a household. Our daily lives are our gifts to God's ongoing work in the world. May you be blessed as you spend your day with God in the midst of the mundane. Amen.